I'm a little afraid. How did you not see that coming? Hated that bitch. I feel personally attacked. How could I have been so naive? So now I'm a little devastated. This is her villain origin story. Holy crap. I should have known better. This was not on my bingo card, honestly. Hello, my fellow book lovers, and welcome back to today's video. And honestly, one of the most exciting reading vlogs I think I have ever filmed. Because if you guys don't know, if you didn't read the title of this video, we are in fact reading the Throne of Glass series. Oh yeah, I have been wanting to read this series for years. I have put this series on my book series I want to read list for about 3 years now. And the time has come to finally read this series because I just need to, okay? I want to be in on all the tea and all the inside jokes and all the secrets that come with this series, okay? I'm so excited. Before obviously we get into a little reading vlog, I will be reading this in this exact order. This is exactly how I will be reading this series, okay? I literally do not care if you think that I should read Assassin's Blade after Heir of Fire or what is it, Crown of Midnight, or whatever order you think it should be in. I don't care. I'm not reading it that way. I am in fact going to read Assassin's Blade first and then continue on. This will also be a 4 episode series for myself as well as you guys because I am in fact also going to do spoilers. The entire vlog itself will be non-spoiler, but at the very end of the video, I will always put a warning to the spoilers that I will have talked about throughout my reading vlog, just in general as a whole. So it will be at the very end of each video for spoilers for those books in particular. And then again, also depending on how long the vlogs are and how long it takes me to read the books, it is quite possible that I may separate the spoiler portions of the vlogs into their own videos, depending on how things go for me. You guys know. We are going to be reading the first 3 books. Next 2, we are going to do the tandem read, and then Kingdom of Ash will be its own reading vlog. Yeah, I feel like that is a good strategy for me and for you guys to kind of get the most, considering obviously as the books go on, they get thicker and thicker. And then especially with the tandem read, I feel like they just need their own thing for a tandem read. And then obviously Kingdom of Ash is almost 1,000 pages. So anyways, I'm so excited. I am so excited, you guys. I have been waiting to start this reading vlog for so long, okay? I just literally had never had a good enough time, but the time is now. The time is now, and we are starting with Assassin's Blade, okay? I have been wanting to read a fantasy book for so long, and here we are. Here we are. So let's get started. Okay, literally, tell me how I opened up the first page. Literally, and why is this so relatable? Why is this line that within the first 2 paragraphs of this book, so relatable. It literally says, "It's past 4 in the morning," she said. "This had better be important. Perhaps if you hadn't been reading all night, you wouldn't be so exhausted." I feel personally attacked, honestly. Honestly, I need to go get pens and some tabby tabs, so that I can tab this stuff up, because how are these going to be effective reading vlogs if I don't underline and tab for my own personal gain and benefit as well as for yours? So, alright you guys, it's hours later. I have moved to the bedroom, clearly, for the vlog, and I have read through the first 2 novellas, and I'm on the Assassin in the Desert. I've heard that the first, I think maybe first 2 or 3 novellas were a little bit harder to get into for the book itself, because this obviously, I will say, when you read this first, the Assassin's Blade, instead of going in publishing order of the series, it really does feel like you're just jumping right into a story that you right into a middle of a book, kind of feels like, considering this is a prequel. It's you can read these before reading the rest of the series, or you can read them in publishing order, so things would make probably a little bit more sense, or it wouldn't feel necessarily you're just jumping into a book, you know what I mean? It literally feels when it starts you're starting in the middle of a book, which is fine, because it's not a hard thing to grasp. Within the first actual book, Throne of Glass, you probably learn a lot about Celaena's Sardonthia? Is that how you... Selena, no, not Gomez, hang on, Sardothian, I don't know how you say her last name. There are a lot of names in here already that I don't know how to pronounce. It's Gonna be a learning curve, all right? Gonna be a learning curve. Or like learning a lot about her, but I'm sure you learn a lot more about Selena when you are reading Throne of Glass first. Like obviously you get so much more. Like right now I'm literally just getting kind of like the bare bone information of like what you need to know about her, because obviously it's already been described in 4 other books or 3 other books that came before this one. I don't really remember. So it does feel like you're jumping right in. And the first 2 are kind of like, okay, like not necessarily, they're not like boring in any way, but they're not as easy to keep your attention, because it's kind of like, okay, like what investment do I have into this character right now, considering I know where this is going to end up. Like I know where she's going to end up. Like I know like nothing bad, quote unquote, is going to happen to her just solely because this is a prequel series to Throne of Glass, which literally the Throne of Glass series starts and really like she's the main focus. I know from like most of the books, or at least the beginning of the series, she's like the main focus. So like I know nothing is gonna happen to her. Like I have no stakes in her because I know more is coming for her. So like I'm on part 3 essentially, or like the 3rd one, which is 116 pages in, and this next one is like long. Like this next novella is like longer in comparison to the other ones, obviously over 100 pages. It's going good, all right? I'm learning a lot. Nothing to really chat about yet other than what I've just told you. And obviously these people that are being mentioned here like will be, I assume, important eventually. Certain aspects of these stories will be important, or like these characters will be mentioned again. So like that's kind of nice, where it's like, okay, I kind of get to see them, because like I said, this is the prequel that I am reading first. I am reading the prequel before reading the actual, or starting the actual series in publishing order. Is the next day and we are still reading Assassin's Blade, and I'm now 244 pages in. I'm on the Assassin in the Underworld now. I finished the Assassin in the Desert. I will say like that one definitely like grabbed my attention way more compared to the first 2. The first 2 just kind of felt really slow and boring, and I feel like, again, like I had previously said, that's quite normal for this particular book. But yeah, I'll kind of talk about some of like the spoilery things like in the spoiler section, so you don't have to worry. Yeah, no, there was one thing that happened in the Assassin in the Desert that I was just like, oh yeah, like it was something that was mentioned at a specific time with a specific person, and I was like, oh, like it was just like so easy for me to pick up on that I was like, yeah, no, like that is literally what's going on. Like that's just so, yeah. that was just so obvious to me. I don't know if that was obvious to other people, but like, yeah, I felt that was super obvious. Selena, like, come on, use your common sense. Use your common sense, Miss Girl. Miss Girl, it was quite obvious. I feel like that was just common sense. You know what I mean? And then another thing now, I am in the Assassin in the Underworld, and I don't know how you say her name. It's either Lysandra or Lysandra, where obviously it's a fantasy world. So I feel like the more like annoying way of pronouncing the name is the way it is. But Lysandra, like, or Lysandra, she just popped up, and that's a name I recognize. I'm not exactly sure from what I recognize her from. I've seen a lot of like Throne of Glass stuff, not necessarily spoilers, but like I've seen a lot of like people like make fan edits and make like just like fan art, things like that for the characters, and I feel like she was someone that was popular. And I know these characters, some of these characters are going to show up throughout the entire series. I know that for sure. And that's kind of like why this is like a prequel and being brought up now. And I'm like, I want to deck this bitch in the face. I literally want to deck this bitch in the face already. You know what I mean? Like Selena was talking about how she always wants to punch her in the face. And I said, honestly, same. I met the girl 5 minutes ago. Who's this bitch? You know what I mean? Why do you think that you're so like, bye. Anyways, yeah, so there's that. So yeah, that's all I kind of want to update on. I don't want to like make these updates too long, because obviously I have to vlog so much with all these books, so like I don't want to rant and rave on about everything. But yeah, so I'm in the Assassin in the Underworld, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know where this is gonna go or what's happening, but I'm in the very beginning. I'm literally in the very beginning. I think I'm on I'm literally only on the 2nd chapter within the 4th novella. Almost done though. I mean, I'm more than halfway. I'm not almost done, not even close. Yeah, I'm excited to keep going. Hopefully I'll finish this out like today, and then I'll start Throne of Glass tonight or something. I only have one part of Assassin's Blade. After that last novella, I was kind of like, Not like, you know, but like at the same time, because there's so much like going on that you're like learning beforehand, which is what's going to drive the series, I assume. So it's like information that you need. Basically, I'm kind of like, how did she not see that coming? Like, how did she not see that at the end? This last one that I just read, I was like, Miss Girl, you are the best of the best. How did you not see that coming? Because I feel like in a lot of fantasy books, like so many of these, like they're literally the best of the best. Not that like the best of the best can't be like matched or like have worthy opponent, but it's just like, I feel like they always get themselves in like positions where they are like, it's like a stupid one and they get themselves like stupidly capped. I was like, how did you not pay attention to that? Like, how do you not realize? You know what I mean? At the start of the book, she's 16 and she turned 17 when the book is going on. But at the same, and I get it. She's young. But like, you're trained specifically to like pick up on these things. And you just didn't, Miss Girl. So like, I don't know. So I only have one left. So I just wanted to give you a little update of that beforehand. Also, like, I'm so attached to Sam. I'm like, if anything happens to him, I'm gonna scream. Either way, I'm really liking it. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna finish this last one. Okay, I'm on the Assassin of the Empire. And I genuinely have no idea, obviously, where we're going because this is the first one I read in the series because I haven't started Throne of Glass yet. I am, in fact, going to lose it. No, because how did I know? And how did I know I spoke too soon? How did I know? I can't believe she did this. This is so rude. I swear to God. I swear. Like, I'm gonna murder. I'm gonna lose it. Sus. This is sus. Scream. Well, we finished Assassin's Blade, and now I'm excited to go on to Throne of Glass. This one, why does this one feel like significantly heavier than this one? But like, I feel like they're the same length. It feels significantly heavier. That's so weird. Are the pages thinner, or maybe the pages are just thicker? Oh yeah, and this is even less pages. I'm excited to move on to Throne of Glass and see kind of where the story really starts off. No, I'm gonna scream. How could this happen? I know. I don't know why I was so naive. This is her villain origin story. This is literally her villain origin story, let me tell you. Well, not necessarily villain story. It's like, you know, it's the plot of the villain origin story. You know what I mean? I don't think I have any really thoughts. I thought this was going to go in a much different direction than what it went in, honestly. But either way, I'm surprised. Pleasantly surprised. So let's move on to Throne of Glass. It is the next day that I'm updating you on this, so I've already started Throne of Glass, and I am only 50 pages in, and I am on chapter 8. I am actually so glad that I read Assassin's Blade first, because I feel like the way that this one starts, like, obviously, like, it's a great like start and intro to a fantasy series. It's kind of like all this information that you start off with before, if you didn't read Assassin's Blade, it's kind of like, oh well, this is information like I will learn eventually throughout the series. But it was nice reading it beforehand because I have so much more context into what's already happened and how she got here, which personally I think helps with the story. Honestly, anyone who says to read Assassin's Blade 4th and not 1st is out of their mind. I've literally only read that book and 50 pages of this one to know that like that is the right decision. If you're one of those people who firmly believes that you should read it 4th and not 1st, I'm sorry, you are wrong. Beside that, that's literally not what I want to talk about. Why I wanted to come on here and just like update you just really quick, because I'm gonna continue reading it tonight, obviously. I didn't realize, okay, so like these aren't spoilers or anything like that, and I don't think I'm gonna give any spoilers. And if you know anything about Throne of Glass, you've probably heard of these characters before, so like it's not a spoiler that these characters exist, because I knew like I had heard of these characters prior to reading the books, obviously, but I didn't realize that you met Dorian, and I don't know if it's Cole or Kale. I'm assuming it's Cole, okay? Don't come for me if I'm wrong. I didn't realize you met Dorian and Kale literally just started Dorian and Cole so early. Like I did not think that they showed up until like later on in the series. No, they're right here in this one. I didn't realize either that Dorian is a prince. Like Dorian's the prince of the book. On the back of the book, it just says the crown prince and the captain of the guard. Doesn't say their name. I guess that's slightly a spoiler, but it's literally not, because on like literally within the first chapter you find out this information. So I wouldn't call it a spoiler really. I didn't realize that's who they were. Honestly, I just know that like Throne of Glass, obviously it's an 8-book series. So like there's this whole journey you go on. And I just thought they were characters that you like met with on this or within this journey. Not that they weren't like not important, because obviously they were, but there's obviously other characters that I'm now like, okay, well like when are these characters gonna show up? Like now I have to know. But the other thing about this book is like kind of nice that I have read Sarah J Maas before, is that this one is third POV, so it does switch in between characters. Mostly we're in Selena's point of view, but we do go into Dorian's point of view a few times. So don't know if anyone's ever said that before in a reading vlog, but I'm gonna say she's in third point of view, so you do switch between different characters. So I've got in Dorian's point of view, which is kind of cool. Like really like that, seeing a different point of view, because in Assassin's Blade you also get a different POV. I won't say whose POV that is, but you do, because that's how you find out certain information that Selena still doesn't know, like in this book. Enjoying it so far. Excited to see what happens. I hope this first one like kind of ends like with a sleigh, you know? Because I mean like there's just like no way that like people like didn't read this book and be like, oh my god, I need the next one, considering it's 8 books. The next day, I'm a little bit farther into the book than I think when I updated you. I don't really remember when I updated you yesterday, but I did. Just something I wanted to say was that I'm actually really enjoying the banter, because Selena, because of the situation that like Selena is in. Let me see, does it say it on the back? So I don't want it to be, yes. Literally right in the beginning of the book, I don't know why I would think this is a spoiler, but it talks about how Selena is a prisoner, essentially, because she was caught. Stuff that you find out in Assassin's Blade, obviously. Right now, she's competing to be King's champion, and has to literally like kill, not like necessarily kill, but she has to compete and win against 23 other contestants right now. So she's living at the castle and stuff like that, prepare for this, you know, competition. And like I said before, I didn't realize who Dorian and Cole were. Like I didn't realize like that they came in so early on, and that they had like such a big part in the beginning of the story. Cole, like I said, he's the captain of the guard, and Dorian is the prince. So she has a lot of interaction with both of them, considering that Cole is like basically like her I don't want to call him her watchdog, but like he's basically in a way like her bodyguard, but not really her bodyguard. It's like he is watching her every move to make sure she doesn't do something that's going to like kill someone to get away, like an escape, because she's an assassin. Like literally Miss Girl, you know, is trying to get free. Right now she's trying to compete for this championship, so she has a lot of interaction with Cole and Dorian, and I really love like the banter between all 3 of them. So like her and Cole have like this flirty, like not flirty little banter, like Cole like really like the way he like talks to her is almost kind of like he can't stand her, but then he'll like say things that I'm just like, what? Or like the way that he'll like react to something, and I'm like okay. Like, I don't know why I'm getting so like blushed over it. I don't know anything about these characters. I don't know anything about like what people usually like do. I don't even think this is going to be like any type of love triangle. I do know there obviously is going to be romance in it, but like, and kind of like, oh, okay, like her and Cole. And then like her and Dorian as well. Like Dorian's very flirty, but Dorian's very flirty, I guess, with everyone. Like that's kind of like his like thing of being the prince, is that like he has a lot of like luck with the ladies, as they keep saying in the book. So she enjoys the attention that she gets from Dorian, but I don't think she like, and she thinks he's very handsome, but I don't know like anything about it. And like when he flirts with her, I'm kind of just like, you know, whatever. But like I really love the like interactions that they all have together, because like it just like, I don't know, it makes it like, I really don't know how to describe it. So like the reason why I want to say is because literally a few chapters back, Selena had to be dressed to meet the king. So she was wearing a dress, and he was being kind of like dickish to her, because that's his whole thing. And then he looks at her and he's like, you look rather pretty today. And it was just like the way you could tell that he like wanted to say it earlier and when he saw her, but he just like couldn't. And then he obviously said it right before they went in. And I was like, oh, okay. And then now the way he's very much, I don't want to say it's protective, because I don't think he knows her. He knows that she's an assassin, obviously. So he's very much like standoffish to her, but I don't think he wants to be, because of just like the little amounts that they've interacted. It's not really little amounts. They've actually interacted quite a bit. To this point right now, I'm 93 pages in the book. They've probably been in the same circle, literally around each other, for probably like a month at this point. So it's not like a little time that they've spent together. But no, so it's like these 4 little lines, like this interaction, like this dialogue that they exchanged. So he put a piece of salmon on his plate, and he was like, you don't care for salmon? She said, no, I hate fish. I'd rather die than eat it. And he says, that's surprising. She goes, why? And he goes, because you smell like one. And I'm like, okay, bro, what? Like, what? But then he'll like talk to her and ask her questions that are very much trying to get to know her as a person. And I'm not sure if it's to betray her at some point, obviously, because like that's like the vibes of the book that I'm getting. I don't know. I need to stop yapping and I just need to read. I just want to come on here and say that, okay? I just want to come on here and say all that. On chapter 40, 300 pages in, so I only have about 100 pages left. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea what's gonna happen. I have absolutely no idea. I am very confused. I'm not very confused, because obviously there's more, but like obviously I feel like this one, or like what is happening right now in this one, is going to have a conclusion. Also going to be left with like an open-ended thing to lead into the next book, because of like other things that are going on in the world. And like I have a feeling I know somewhat of where the entire series is going. I don't have like an exact like theory. I'll do a little spoiler if I remember before I end this clip of what I think that theory is to anyone. But so I'm 300 pages in, and like feel like not a lot has even happened. I'm just like here, like things have happened, like you're finding out a lot of information that you'll need for later, but nothing is really happening now. This book in particular is not very action-packed. I feel like it's like a lot of nothing just happening. Like, truthfully, like you're really just like finding out a lot about, I think, the world and like things that are going on in the world. Like I said, where the series is going to go as a whole. Feel like a lot of nothing's happening, but let me tell you, okay, I'm yearning. Like, honestly, like now, like for both of them, I don't know where these relationships she has are gonna go. Like, she's not even in a relationship with either of them, and I'm yearning, you guys. I don't want to like spoil anything. I don't want to spoil it, but just so you know, I'm blushing. So I literally was just like reading, obviously like right after I updated you, I started reading again, and literally that chapter I was like, oh. So I didn't even say this when I was updating you the first time, when I was talking about the little like weird, like not love triangle, but love triangle, was that, you know, something weird is going on, because there like some of her opponents keep getting murdered. It's literally said on the back of the book. A big thing is like you're finding out, or you're trying to figure out like what this thing is that's murdering all of these contestants and all these opponents. And so I had a feeling of what it was. I was like, yeah, no, like it's gotta be this. And then, well, not necessarily what it was, or like more necessarily of like who was behind all this stuff. And then Selena said something and I was like, oh, like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then it was just confirmed. It's not like full-heartedly confirmed, but it was confirmed, kind of. Okay, she just saw something, right, that we see, and makes it seem like, yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. So I only have 30 pages of the book left. Okay, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's very good. Okay, I feel like a lot's not happening. I feel like I'm not necessarily bored throughout the whole thing. I'm almost done. Final thoughts after, but yeah, I'm not necessarily bored throughout the entire thing. But I just feel like this one was definitely more of like the build up. Like you have to get to it, and it's obviously the ending that's the most entertaining. The same thing happened with A Court of Thorns and Roses, like the first book, where it was like nothing happened and it was so boring, and the only time it was entertaining was like literally the last like 80% of the book. I'm gonna finish it and then I'll give you some final thoughts on this one. I have finished the first book. I did really like it. By the end, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, like where are we going? Like where are we going with this? You know what I mean? Ending's a little bit more lackluster. Like I thought it was gonna be way more like dramatic. Like I thought there was gonna be way more of like a dramatic ending and like a cliffhanger. But it really wasn't. Like, it definitely is kind of, like, intriguing to see where we go in the next book and, like, what happens. But, yeah, no, the ending is not as dramatic as I thought it would be. I don't know how I'm feeling about a rating or anything like that for this book in general because, again, like I said, like, it's the first book in a series, technically, where, well, it is the first book in the series, publishing wise. So it's just like so much build up and so much information that you don't know yet that you're like now having to process and put in your brain. Like a story that's being built that you have no idea where it's going. Like you genuinely have no idea where the story in this series could possibly be going at this point. I don't know, like if I was like at the time of like publishing, I don't even know when this book was actually like published. I'll have to like look it up or something. But if I was a reader who was like waiting for 2012, holy crap, oh my god, 2012 this was first published. So 2012, what grade was I in? I was in 9th grade. Honestly, like if I was in high school, like if I had to wait for the next book to come out as I am right now, I don't know how invested I would be at the start with this one. So I guess we'll see how I feel after the next ones. You know what I mean? Waiting for them to be like published, I still don't know if I would know where the story was going. Just based off of this first one, I'd be like, oh, okay, so we're just following this assassin, right? And like that's it. Like that's all I would think. I had a good time. It was actually very interesting. There were parts that I did feel like that were very, very slow that I feel like I did kind of like lose a bit of interest in. Honestly, like I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, but now that I don't like Dorian, I do. Like Dorian's a great character, I feel like, and especially for this first book, I feel like he has a really good like development. But I like love Cole because like Cole has like so much like mystery to him because there's so much we don't know about him. Like Dorian, we've found out quite a bit of information of so far. I don't know, like Cole's just so mysterious right now, you know what I mean? You know? But yeah, I guess we'll see how the series as a whole like goes on. Yeah, so I'm gonna start Crown of Midnight tomorrow, and that'll actually be the last book for this part of the vlog. I will obviously kind of see how much footage I have. I actually don't think I have a lot of footage, so I will see how much footage I have for the first part of the vlog, you know, do the whole thing for you guys. And then obviously part 2 will be Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows, which I know I've already talked about, but I just wanted to remind you that the first episode of the Throne of Glass series is going to end with Crown of Midnight. We're starting it tomorrow. Decided to come up to my book room to kind of change up the scenery for you and for me. I literally have been reading in my bed way too much. I just figure, you know, I'll come up here and kind of switch things around when I start Crown of Midnight. Oddly, like this book seems so much smaller than Throne of Glass, but this one's actually slightly longer. It's like just maybe like 10 or 15 pages longer than Throne of Glass, but Throne of Glass's pages are heavier, which is so weird. I don't know why. I literally picked up Crown of Midnight and I was like, oh my god, why is it so short? And then I was like, it's not. It's actually not. So yeah, I'm very excited to start this because I did read the back of the book, which is something I never usually do, but I do kind of want to see like where we're headed into this one, because I don't know, it feels so weird to like know so much information, but I keep forgetting that like Assassin's Blade came out fourth, like published wise. So like a lot of people don't usually like when you're reading the series, like, or I don't know, like usually I just feel like because of like the fact that I like all of the books are out and they're all published, usually you just don't have that much information prior to going into like the start of a series, because they're like, this is the second book in the New York Times bestselling series Throne of Glass, and I'm like, second book, and I'm like, wait, it actually is the second book, it's not actually the third, where I feel like you usually find out so much more in the third one, but this is technically the second, but it feels like the third one for me. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of see where we go with this one, because I honestly have no idea. But tell me how like I posted today on TikTok, Instagram, like all the stuff about how I'm starting my Throne of Glass journey, which was kind of a lie because I had already started. I wanted to get some like content and stuff like that filmed for them, so that it's like everything that I had like pre-filmed to like kind of put out when I was like ready. Yeah, so tell me how, like literally I put out on my TikTok like, oh, like tell me something like I won't know until after I finish the series, and tell me how like already like my For You page was giving me like spoiler, like not spoilery things, but was giving me videos other people talking about Throne of Glass, one of them being a spoiler, like one of them kind of being a spoiler, but also I was kind of like, in my brain I should have known better because I saw it, and in my brain after reading the first, you know, Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass, I was like, no, my brain should have like, I was like, I know Sarah J Maas, I know her, I should have known better than to assume that information. Anyways, I'm going to start Crown of Midnight. Like I said, very, very excited. I actually cannot wait to see what like the plot reveal is, or like what the like ending of this book was, because I feel like with the way that this one is described on the back, which I'm not going to say because obviously you want to read it, you can read it yourself, I feel like the cliffhanger, if there is going to be a cliffhanger, is going to be good. And honestly, I'm going to be a little mad if there's not. Could in fact just be an idiot with my theory, but I don't know. Right here says that Selena says she's dead, and then someone else is like, they don't think so, they say that she's alive. Maybe I'm just dumb, and like that was a dumb theory. I don't remember the last thing I updated you guys on. I'm now over 200 pages into the book. Things have been slowly happening. Okay, this is another one where, again, obviously it's technically the second book in the series. I feel like it's just like a lot of build-up. It's a continuation of obviously the story, but like it's a lot of build-up, I feel like, of what's to come. So I feel really weird because I don't feel like necessarily attached to anything yet. I do love Cole though. I'm sorry. I do. I'm sorry if maybe I'm speaking too soon. I do love him, but I don't think I am, okay? Because I know a lot of people also love him. Yeah, I'm at the part where, I'm not at the part where there's also another character in this book that, like, it's not a spoiler because once you get to it, it's funny. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but the character's name is Mort, and Mort and Selena have this really funny banter anytime that they cross paths, and honestly, I'm giggling to myself every single time. I'm like, stop, that's hilarious. Mort, you're so funny. I'm sorry. But, you know, I'm really, really enjoying it. Basically, though, what is going on in this one, it follows from Throne of Glass. So Selena is now the king's champion, and she's going about the kingdom doing all the king's dirty deeds, but also trying to uncover a lot of what's not being said by the king, because the king has all these plans, right? And she's trying to figure out what these plans are, because she's just like, he's so vague about it. Things just like to her don't add up into what's going on, because he's a very feared ruler. In theory, I feel like Selena could take him out so easily, and then Dorian, who is the prince, would take over as king. As of right now, this is as of right now, I don't know what's to come for the rest of the series. Dorian has very good like intentions, and knowing what his father is doing is wrong, and that's not something he would do, and he would not rule the country this way, or rule the entire continent, because I mean, his father has taken over the continent, like that's not a secret. He, as of right now, has very good like intentions as to like what he would do if he were the king and how he would run things. So I'm like, Selena's literally known as like the best assassin. Literally known as the best assassin, and I'm like, you literally couldn't figure out a way to take him out undetected. But anyways, that's what's going on, and that's all I have to say, because anything else I say, it would probably be a spoiler, because I don't want to give spoilers for this part of the video. Anyway, I'm gonna read for a little bit longer tonight before I go to bed, because I'm exhausted. On part 2 now of Crown of Midnight. I'm 40 pages into part 2, I'm pretty sure. And I'm on page 277. And so much, literally so much has happened within these next 40 pages, but I know so much more is going to happen. Like so much more. The theory that I have, I don't know if you're gonna find it out at the end of this book or not. I don't know. Like, I don't know when you're supposed to find that out, but like, it was basically, because like I said earlier in this vlog, like I posted one thing for Throne of Glass. One thing. And now I keep getting like the Throne of Glass like edits on TikTok, and I keep getting spoilers accidentally. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's all the Steve meme from Stranger Things. So it's like, it's not like I can just like scroll away. I read the thing at the top not realizing it's for Throne of Glass. I'm almost positive, like my theories before, obviously I want to read it for myself to know if that is what's gonna happen. I'm like low-key a little devastated at some of the things that have happened. Okay, I'm just not having a good time, because to see everyone's point of view of Selena now with what's kind of happened is like not necessarily something I didn't expect. Like obviously but honestly at the same time, I'm kind of like, what did you expect? Like, she's an assassin. Like, what did you expect when all of this stuff started happening? Like, and what is it called? What is her called? Like it's in her nature to do this, to legit be an assassin. And then so when she, murder someone, why are you so caught off guard? Like, why are you so caught off guard? I don't understand. Anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. So hopefully I'll have some type of update for you soon. Like, I know I said this already, but Selena could literally assassinate the king. Like, she so could. People would know it's her, for sure. Like, Selena can assassinate the king on her own free will. Like, she totally can do that. Dorian would then become the king, and he doesn't have to necessarily send her to the gallows. He literally could he doesn't even have to send her to prison if he doesn't want to. Like, literally, bro, like, what's going on? How about we do that instead? Yeah, clearly something else is going on. Last night I ended up getting to 355 pages in, so I roughly have a little bit more than 50 pages left of Crown of Midnight. You guys, I don't know necessarily what to even think of this book, because it's so weird, because it feels like the first book genuinely felt like a book that had its own entire plot, where it was like you were kind of figuring out like her getting from the beginning to the end, and that book was its own plot. It wasn't necessarily like, even though it was like setting up for something so much bigger, it almost didn't feel like it was setting up. Like it felt like it could have in a weird way of wrapped up. No, like it couldn't have wrapped up, but you know what I'm saying? It felt like its own plot for its own book, whereas this one genuinely feels like we are setting up for so much more. It was kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Like for the first one, I don't necessarily know how to describe, of being like, we were watching it happen, almost in a way. We were watching it happen. Whereas this one, I feel like we are seeing everything unfold in real time, if that makes sense. Even though I know that's like not how it happened. Like I know exactly, like it's told in the same exact way, like third person. But I don't know, this one just felt so much more. We were watching everything unfold as it was happening. And as the reader, you were being surprised as well. Whereas in the first book, I just felt like you could expect certain things because it was setting up for like a specific thing to come to the end of that book. Whereas this one, it's like the end of this book, I feel like is going to be like we're setting up for so much bigger. Like it's gonna end on like a plot hole, not a plot hole, a cliffhanger. There we go. So it's like we're setting up for so much more than you're anticipating with this one, rather than Throne of Glass, where I felt like you could have set up Throne of Glass as like a duology, not even a duology, as a trilogy, even probably a duology, depending on how you would have written it. Even though that's not literally important, that's how it felt like. Even though I knew it was an 8-book series, but like the way that Throne of Glass felt like it could have gone on to be only 2 or 3 more books. Whereas this one, like you're getting introduced to so much more information and so much more stuff that I'm like, oh my god, this is even bigger than we imagined. Like there's so much more and so many more secrets to be unfolded than what you can imagine. It's so crazy. Like I don't, it's such a weird thing to try and describe because I don't know how to describe it as I'm reading it. As someone who knows that there's 8 books out, you know what I mean? Knows not honestly anything of what to come. Whereas like in Throne of Glass, the first book, where I anticipated what the ending was going to be. It was kind of like what you expected. Like I knew she wasn't gonna, die because the entire series, she's a main point, like a main part of the series, you know what I mean? I knew she wasn't gonna die, you know what I mean? So it was like I knew the outcome, whereas this one I have no idea. I have no idea the outcome. Honestly, I'm a little afraid. I should be a little afraid. I feel like I should be, because tell me why Heir of Fire, which is the next book, is significantly bigger than the first 3. So you're in for something. You literally know you're in for something when the book goes from like this size to like a honker. You know what I mean? I don't even have Heir of Fire next to me or anything. Otherwise I'd show you. But like you're in for something big when the next book is a honker compared to this one. I have roughly, like I said, 50 pages left, a little bit more, because there's more than 400 pages in the book. But yeah, I guess I'll keep you updated on anything. I'm trying to think of anything big happened since I last updated you yesterday. I don't think so. There was a big thing that happened like between like Dorian and Selena, but like not what you would think. It wasn't like a romantic thing. It was just like a big thing. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to mention. There's just, I feel like so much more action in this one. Like there's just so much more happening. Like I said, like we're seeing everything unfold in front of us rather than it being in a way feeling like it's being told to us. Does that make sense? Like I felt like the first one was being told to us, but this one I just feel like there's so much happening, but also like so much that doesn't feel like it's happening, but it is. It's just so much more information you're finding out about all these characters in this series and everything that's to come, because there's so much that there's just so much information you need to know when you're going into this series, like, or like to go into future books. Like it's so crazy. But yeah, like I'm saying, I don't think anything big happened, obviously, that needs to be like talked about in the spoiler section either. I feel like this book in particular doesn't have its own plot. Its plot is to drive the series. Like everything that you're getting in this book is to drive into what the series is to come, like not necessarily having a plot, like a full plot within this book. Not that it's like a bad thing. Like I'm not saying that there's no plot, because there is. I'm saying like this book doesn't feel like it has its own individual plot. It's like, again, like moving, it's moving the entire like series to what's to come, Enough yapping from me. I'm gonna read. Wait, what? What? No. Cletus? No way. What? Bruh. That makes sense. Why the next book's called Heir of Fire. This was not on my bingo card, honestly. Honestly, this information was not on my bingo card. It's been a little bit. I let my camera charge so that I could finish out this book with you guys. I'm on page 399 and there's 418 pages. So let's go. How did I know? How did I freaking know? How did I know? How did I know? How did I know? How did I know? Well, just finished, clearly. Wow. It like does leave off on a cliffhanger, but like I have known the cliffhanger since the beginning of the book. Like I didn't go looking for it, obviously. Like I wasn't like trying to spoil it for myself. Like I didn't look, but I was like, oh no, like this is what it's gonna be. And that is a spoiler. So that is a spoiler that you will have to see in the spoiler section. But honestly, slay. Because like I said, this book just like, I feel like geared up for so much more, because everything you find out at the end of this book, or like everything that's like coming to like go, because it doesn't leave off on a necessary cliffhanger, but it leaves off on like important information that you're like, well, what does this mean? With the ending, which I did know, I'm excited to see where we go next, because clearly like with the ending of this book, Selena is sent off on another mission. And it's kind of like, okay, well, where is this going? Where is this going? Especially with everything that you found out in this book. Crazy. I don't know what else to say. I'm excited. I'm literally going to move right on to Air Fire. So you guys will see that in the next reading vlog. So stay tuned for that. Honestly, a slay. I don't know how I'm feeling yet. Basically, within the Assassin in the Desert, when Selena and Ansel went to, what was it? Whatever town that not the prince, whatever the guy is. He's not an emperor. He was what is he? Anyway, whatever the guy was, when Selena and Ansel went to like the town so that Ansel could go like talk to him and be like the correspondence, I was like, okay, that's sketch. That she invited her to come along. And then when they got there, Ansel was like, yeah, no, like, you can't come in. One of the market people was like, yeah, no, like, they say he has spies or something like that, or that he has someone working for him in the Silent Assassins League. And I'm like, okay, so you mean Ansel. Like, that was Selena. Like, come on. Use your common sense. Use your common sense, Mince Girl. I know, like, obviously in this situation that it's like, this is someone that she kind of knows and that's someone that she kind of has some friendship towards, a friendship that she felt like she's never really had before. So I get it that her like guard was down a little bit, but like, Miss Girl, it was quite obvious what Ansel was doing. It was quite obvious that Ansel is in fact the mole, the spy. I feel like that was just common sense. You know what I mean? And then another thing now, I am in the Assassin in the Underworld, and I don't know how you say her name. It's either Lysandra or Lysandra, where obviously it's a fantasy world, so I feel like the more like annoying way of pronouncing the name, Lysandra, like, or Lysandra, she just popped up. And that's a name I recognize. I'm not exactly sure from what I recognize her from. I've seen a lot of like Throne of Glass stuff, not necessarily spoilers, but like I've seen a lot of like people like make fan edits and make like just like fan art, things like that for the characters, and I feel like she was someone that was popular. And I know some of these characters are going to show up throughout the entire series. Like, I know that for sure. And that's kind of like why this is like a prequel and being brought up now. And I'm like, I want to deck this bitch in the face. I literally want to deck this bitch in the face already. You know what I mean? Like Selena was talking about how she always wants to punch her in the face. And I said, honestly, same. I met the girl 5 minutes ago. Who's this bitch? You know what I mean? I don't know how she didn't see that betrayal from Arobynn coming, honestly, because I'm like, Miss Girl a mile away would have seen that Arobynn, who tried to already once get a part of this slave trade that you ruined, like the slave agreement that you ruined for him, was like, why would you think he was not trying to get another one? Like, why would you think that he was not trying to get another one? Like, how did you not see that? Like, Miss Girl, the start of the book, she's 16 and she turned 17 when the book is going on. But at the same, and I get it, she's young. But like, you're trained specifically to like pick up on these things. And you just didn't, Miss Girl. So like, I don't know. I'm literally just at the very end where I'm on page 415 and I'm like, I swear to God, if Arobynn had Sam killed because Selena was gonna leave with him. I don't know, because like this guy, Harding, why would he betray Selena and them? Like, for fucking what? Like, who is this guy? No, literally. I was like, Arabin's been betraying her this entire book. Like, of course it's him. Literally, he's been betraying her this entire book. This is her villain origin story. This is literally her villain origin story, let me tell you. Well, not necessarily villain story. It's like, you know, it's the plot of the villain origin story, you know what I mean? I thought this was gonna go in a much different direction than what it went in, honestly. Spoiler of where I think the series is going, okay? Like I said, 300 pages into the book, all right? So I only have 100 pages left of this book. So far, like, nothing in this book is happening. Like, this is, like, not an action-packed book. I feel like, well, for the series, this is definitely not the most action-packed one. Don't, like, have any theories for the way this book is gonna go either. Like, I literally have no idea. Like, Caltaine, however you say her name, Miss Girl, she's sus. But also, I'm kind of like, she could also just be some bitter, jealous, what do they call it? Aristocrat? What is she? I don't know. She's like I don't even think she's a duchess. She's just someone like nobility. There we go. I think that's the right term. Of nobility. I think she's just jealous. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And then I'm like, well, maybe Cain has something to do with it, because then he had that weird thing when Selena was in the town or whatever, and she saw him behind her, and he like had his hand to his throat, like he couldn't breathe, but ran off. And she said like he had run faster than like she'd ever seen. So I'm like, okay. And then there was also the weird thing with the Duke of whatever he is. And I'm like, what is happening? Nehemia? I have no idea how you say that princess name. Nehemia, whatever her name is, okay? She's being a little sus now too. Okay, I literally was like, okay, she may be someone who's fine, because like I don't remember her throughout like being mentioned at all throughout the other books, or like being mentioned in other things that I had seen. So like that were like non-spoilery. So I'm like, I don't think she's anything. But also she could be something in this book, and that's why you don't see her throughout. Yeah, because now she's being sus, because when Selena saw her in the library and she spoke like the common tongue fluently and was reading a book that was like above her like level of like understanding in the common tongue, because obviously she speaks whatever it is like that she speaks fluently from her part of the continent, the country, or whatever, because she pretends like she doesn't know the common tongue. So I'm just sus, okay? Everyone is sus, and I don't know. I literally have no idea what's gonna happen. No idea. My theory for the entire series, again, like I said, I don't know. I really have no idea, because a lot of people are like, this, where you start the series is not where you end the series. Is like, well, obviously, but it's like not where they thought the series, like not where they thought it was gonna go. It's like you were so far from like where you started to where you end. It's crazy. I don't know. I could be wrong. Obviously, there's so much going on with everything right now. So like Selena's competing to be the champion for the king, but even Dorian, who is the prince, the crown prince, is like, I can't stand like what my father is doing. Like I do not condone what he's doing, but there's nothing I can do, right? Unless I were to become king. And obviously Selena's an assassin. And then even Cole is like, yeah, it's like horrible. And they were talking about how like when they went to Andover to get Selena, that they were like, I did not realize like that's what it was like. And like, I can't believe like that is what it is, which is crazy. So I think something a part of the series, like, and where the series is going, I think part of it is like obviously getting rid of the king and whatnot. And then obviously I think Arabin's gonna come back into it. I don't know how he's gonna come back into it, but he's going to. Yeah, I feel like maybe in the next one it'll be more about like, well, granted I don't know how this one ends yet, but more about how like they're going to kill the king, or like how like Selena may assassinate the king. I don't know. So something like that. And then it's like obviously could be their whole journey of like getting their like world, and essentially like that back to like normal, you know, and not like overthrown and overtaken by a Darlin's assassin. How come I literally can't remember now what she's called. She's called Indola's assassin, right? So that's where I think things are going and how it's gonna go. That was so not informational, but obviously I don't have a lot of information. So I literally was just like reading, obviously like right after I updated you, I started reading again, and literally like that chapter I was like, oh. After I was like literally just saying, because there was one thing I forgot to say within my other spoilers, was that Cain had also been like kneeling, like the word marks. There we go, the word marks. Her anemia like had seen him, whatever her name is, had seen him out there. Like he was kneeling before them when she like noticed them for the first time. And so then literally she found a passage or a reading in someone's old handwriting saying like the word marks mean like if you do out the word marks, and then it summons the beast, and the beast will give you the strength of that person. And I was like, oh, so it's Cain. And like I had a feeling it was Cain the whole time, because like it just kind of made sense. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of made sense. But either way, so I was like, oh, it's Cain. Like that, like she literally had said about how he'd gotten stronger and stronger, or had gained like an extra 10 pounds of muscle since being here. And then literally in the part that I just read, it was just confirmed that like she sees Cain in like the passageways. She hasn't confirmed anything like yet. Like it hasn't been like super confirmed. Like this is just like what she's seeing, because she still thought like Nemu was doing it. I guess I'll update you if I have another thing. Okay, so I have like 30 pages left of the book. And I was obviously, like I'm finished the final duel, right? Where Selena has just like beaten Cain, but like literally they poisoned her so that he could beat her. And bro is literally like, bro also is like part of something, like not like mortal. Like he is like part of being a creature, like where he like was able to see like Queen Elena, who had been dead for thousands of years when she was in the underworld. Yeah. And he like knew they drugged her. Like they drugged her so that Cain could win and like kill Selena. And while they're in the middle, the challenge, trying to see who would become the champion, right? And Cain knows they drugged her, like I said, and he's like in there gloating. He's in there literally gloating, being like, oh, I expected more. And like, oh, I guess all that like yapping and like, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have been holding back on your skill, like during practice. And I'm like literally gloating about how he's beating her right now, but he knows they drugged her. I'm like, bro, the only reason you're winning is because they drugged her. Like, because otherwise you had no shot. And you still were like gaining strength from the other people because you were the one killing all the other contestants. Where like, because you're, this creature or whatever the fuck you are, you literally consumed the other people's like strengths. And yet they still had to drug her because they knew that she would have beaten you. Without it, I wouldn't be gloating. Like, I understand, like, you're just like, maybe you're on like your high mighty horse, but I wouldn't be gloating. Bro, you're only winning because they had to drug her. Just saying. Like, literally just saying. Like, I wouldn't be too proud of that. I only have 30 pages left, and the Duke too also just like betrayed Caltaine and like said that she was the one who poisoned Selena, which is true, she did, but used it against her. So I was like, lol, slay, because I hate that bitch. Hated that bitch. The TikTok spoiler that I saw, well, it wasn't even technically a spoiler, but it was literally just popped up on my For You page, like, just out of nowhere. Like, I literally, like I said, posted about how I am just starting my Throne of Glass journey. Like, literally the first thing that popped up when I reopened TikTok was this spoiler. It didn't even necessarily say it was a spoiler, but it was just, like, saying how, it's like the Steve Harrington meme, when it was just like, oh, I wonder who she ends up with, Dorian or Cole, and, like, the look that I have to, like, not say anything. And I'm like, not me right now. Not that being me right now, being like, oh, who does she end up with? Because I know Sarah J. Maas. And I'm just like, I should have known better. I should have known better than to assume she was going to end up with one of those two, considering I have read ACOTAR, and here we are. You know what I mean? I feel like I should have known better. I really should have, because how could I have been so naive to believe that she would have ended up with one of the two men in the first book? Honestly, like, it's really not that far-fetched. Most fantasy books do that, but hers don't. Okay, so this is just something I literally just thought of right now while reading this. I'm literally only 18 pages in, and is Selena and Aelin the same person? Because I knew Aelin has been a character in Throne of Glass throughout, like, ever since I've heard about the series. Like, I just knew that she was a character. I don't know anything about her other than the fact that she's, like, a character in this book series. Are Selena and Aelin the same person? Literally, like I said, I know nothing. Because here in this little, like, section at the top of page 18, she's having, like, a dream about Cain chasing her, and it says, close enough that his fingers raked against the nape of her neck. He whispered her name, her true name, and she screamed as he, and then she wakes up. And I'm like, are they the same person? Or am I just reaching? Am I just reaching right now? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about the other character. I've seen fan art drawn of her, but I never really thought anything of it. And I'm thinking of the fan art, and I'm like, okay, so like maybe they're the same person. And like that's the only reason why I'm having this like connection in this theory. Is that it? Also, does Sam come back? Because literally, does that name sound so familiar? Like, it sounds so familiar for me to have remembered and like feel like it was throughout the series, you know? Because I like, when reading Assassin's Blade, I was like, oh yeah, like St. Cortland, that name sounds familiar. And then so does Lysandra. That name sounded familiar too. And I was like, oh, like, they must be important characters or like important throughout the rest of the story. You know, obviously Sam's importance for the beginning of the story and like where she kind of goes from there. But Lysandra doesn't make any sense. Well, actually she does, especially at the time. So anyway, I just had that little thought and I just wanted to bring it up. Just wanted to bring it up. Maybe in later episodes you'll be like, this is dumbass, or I'll even be like, ugh, I was such a dumbass, why did I think that? You know what I mean? Remember how I said that I thought Aelin and Selena were the same person? Well, they just brought Aelin up for the first time. I could in fact just be an idiot with my theory, but I don't know, right here says that Selena says she's dead. And then someone else is like, they don't think so. They say that she's alive. And I'm like, she could be if she's Selena. But maybe I'm just dumb. And like, that was a dumb theory. I don't really remember where I left off for the last spoiler of where I am now. I'm over 200 pages in. Selena and Cole are together. Am I being naive? Because I am loving it. And I'm happy about it. Because I love Cole, actually. Like, I really like him. I don't know what it is about him, truthfully. Like, he's just... So I don't know what it is about Cole, but I love him. Like, he's literally done nothing, and he hasn't done nothing, but we've hardly scratched the surface, I feel like, of his character, and like, I just like love him already, which is kind of crazy. Selena and Cole are essentially together, like in secret, and Selena has told Nahima, whatever her name is, and Cole that she's not actually assassinating the people that she's being told to assassinate. And now Dorian has these like powers. Well, not like powers. He doesn't know what's going on. He literally has no idea what's going on. He's like, I don't know what's happening. And I still think Aelin and Selena are the same person. I don't know. I don't know what else has happened since the last time I gave you a spoiler. Because I'm trying to think. Nothing crazy. I want to know who's going to turn on her. Because part of me is like, if it's Cole, I'm going to literally shoot myself. Literally going to dive headfirst off a cliff. I feel like it could be Naima or Dorian, obviously. But I feel like those are like the obvious ones, you know? But also, I feel like it'd be so weird and out of character for all that we do know about Dorian to betray her because that's kind of what it says on here, right? Maybe there's not like a betrayal. I don't know where I'm getting that from. It's like more of like, it says, then one terrible night, the secrets they have all been keeping led to an unspeakable tragedy. Selena's world shattered. She'll be forced to decide once and for all where her true loyalties lie and what she's willing to fight for. Oh, so maybe there's no betrayal. Maybe there isn't a betrayal. And I'm just like thinking out loud, or I don't know. Maybe I just like, because I'm so used to like betrayals being in books that like I just assume someone's gonna betray her. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. Anyways, like I said, I have no idea what is happening. Oh, but I also know that there's like Nima, whatever her name is, has spoken with Elena, past queen, who's like dead in between worlds. She knows something's up with Dorian, like about the powers and stuff, and also is like the one who's like, yeah, you need to like guide Selena into like doing it. Like, she will do it. Like, she's the one who's supposed to, type of thing. I love Cole. Part of me is like, am I just not being naive? Am I being naive? Because literally, like I told you earlier, the TikTok I saw that was like, oh, who does she end up with? And I'm like, am I too naive to think that like she would end up with Dorian or Cole? Like, she's not gonna end up with either of them. Like, right now she's with Cole, but like she's not gonna end up staying with him. Makes me a little sad. Makes me a little worried. Because honestly, I love them together. Considering the way that Selena has talked about being with him and how she feels at home with him, I'm like, Miss Girl, we cannot have you shattered once again. We just can't. I am now in part 2 of Crown of Midnight. Obviously, I'm 40 pages into part 2, and like the things that have low-key crazy. Like so Cole and Selena were together. Now they're not. So now I'm a little devastated. Nemia, whatever her name is dead. She was assassinated by Grave. And Grave, so dumb. Why, literally, to hear his inner monologue in that one POV where he was like, well, I'm gonna show her, like, and humiliate her the way that she did it to me. And I'm like, bro, you didn't even make it 2 feet. You didn't even make it 2 feet before she had you pinned against the wall. And like, literally like begging for mercy. The fact that it was Selena who figured it out, who assassinated her, honestly is not surprising, because obviously that's kind of Selena's job, is to like, you know, when she's an assassin, she has to like look at so many things and like so many outside perspectives and like get so many clues so that she can formulate a plan before she goes to assassinate someone. So like, it's not surprising that she figured it out, but still, it still like kind of shocks me that they're just so like, Dorian and Cole are just so baffled by the way Selena is. Like, she's literally an assassin. I said this in my non-spoiler part too, like, she's literally an assassin, and like when she murders somebody, like, why are you so surprised? Like, that's who she is, and like that's how she acts. Like, this is like her, this is legit in her nature. Like, since she's been 8 years old, she's been trained to be an assassin since she's 8 years old. Why are you so surprised that she's so capable of mutilating somebody? Like, why are you so surprised when she does it? Like, you look at her, like they literally said, like, I don't even know who, like, the girl I fell in love with is. Like, I don't even know where she is. Like, he's like, I don't even know who this girl is in front of me. And I'm like, it's still the same girl. She just has to be so disconnected when she's an assassin. Like, I don't know what you're expecting. That's all I have. I don't think there was anything else. I mean, we also figured out who hired Grave to assassinate her. There was that too. Which was the minister. But honestly, like, I know I said this already, Selena could literally assassinate the king. Like, she so could. Yeah, clearly something else is going on, right? And now the king has this power that we don't even know about, and Dorian has powers that we don't know about or know anything about. Selena knows, because when Selena was literally tried to kill Cole, that's crazy, after Nina died, he like used his power to like stop her from sending the dagger right into his chest. That thing, whatever that thing was in the dungeon that the king had created, Selena and Dorian killed that. And then she figured out that the king has the word keys, or has some type of word keys, some type of power that he's using, and is trying to get the word keys, which obviously I think is going to be, which is introducing the big thing of the plot, like the big overarching plot line of the series. Because I feel like this book in particular doesn't have its own plot. Its plot is to drive the series. Like everything that you're getting in this book is to drive into what the series is to come, like not necessarily having a plot, like a full plot within this book. Not that it's like a bad thing. Like, I'm not saying that there's no plot, because there is. I'm saying like this book doesn't feel like it has its own individual plot. It's like, again, like moving, it's moving the entire like series to what's to come. She figured out the king has like some type of power, word keys. Like, he built the clock tower, which we already knew. He built the clock tower like made of obsidian stone, and whoever that guy was, no idea. And then, like I said, it's not confirmed, and I'm not gonna say it until obviously it is confirmed. Honestly, like, Selena is Aelin. Like, they're the same person. She's Aelin Galathinius. There we go. Galathinius. I'm thinking of Zach Galifianakis. Either way, like, both Dorian and Cole have caught on to like, oh, maybe she's someone, because they know that Selena's not her real name. Like, they all know that, but they know that her family was killed by the king, and the king slaughtered. Essentially only killed the people of Terrasen, like, who were of nobility that could like maybe overrule him, and then I think everyone else kind of became like a slave. Enough yapping from me. Wait, what? Selena is Fae? No way. What? Bruh. That makes sense. Why the next book's called Heir of Fire. This was not on my bingo card, honestly. Honestly, this information was not on my bingo card. Like, is she actually Fae, or is it because she has Elena's pendant and then she went into like another world? I just finished. How did I know that Aelin and Selena were the same person? How did I know? Okay, her being a Fae was not on my bingo card though. Like, that really did not. I wasn't really expecting that one. I'm so smart. Well, I don't know how smart I am, but yeah, so my big thing. But anyways, leave off. The book ends with Selena going off to Wendelin. Is that what it's called? Wendelin? Basically because Cole made it so, and then Cole discovers that she's also Aelin. Which it hasn't been said out of Selena's mouth yet, so, but I know it's true. It has not been said out of Selena's mouth, but I know it will be because Selena's very weird when like people bring up Aelin. She's like, and it's because it's her. And you know what? After reading like Assassin's Blade first and like seeing all that information and knowing the information that Erben had found her on a riverbank and then changed her name, it makes me wonder like what his grand scheme really was with that. Like that really does make me wonder of like, okay, so what was did he just want literally the rightful queen of Terrasen to be in his debt and to be like his right hand? Like, you know what I mean? Like, was that like his intention the entire time, thinking that like when the time came that she was still going to be attached to him and that he would then in theory have all this power over her, as well as like this power just because like he is who raised her and turned her into who she is, and now she's a queen, you know what I mean? So I wonder how Erben's gonna come back play into all of this, because also it said the assassin who came back, so the assassin who killed her family came back for her. And I'm like, oh, so you mean that Erben killed her family? So are we gonna find that out? Is it like that true? Did he kill their family? I don't know. Either way, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think or to feel yet. I don't think I have anything else to say about it. Yeah, like Cole, like now with everything with Selena and Cole, I'm kind of like wondering, I'm like, okay, so like where is this going? Like where are they going as a whole? Because Cole, like they're not going to be together in the next book. Like, well, I actually don't know how long she's going to be in Wendelin, so like I guess you never know. I also want to know when we meet Lorcan, I think his name is. Because I know he shows up, so I'm wondering who he is and when he shows up. Unless we've already met him and I just don't realize. I'm excited to see where it goes because you get so many POVs. So many POVs in this. And you know what? Also, the king knows so much more information than he lets on. Because we never are really in his POV until the very end of the book. We didn't get into his POV until the very like last chapter essentially of Throne of Glass, and then essentially the same thing for this one. It was like his chapter was right before, and he also knew someone opened up a portal, so that's kind of crazy. And thank God that Parrington, whatever his fucking name is not around, because he was like, yeah, I want to know who opened up this portal. Excuse me. But a lot of it does make sense, like now that everything is like being talked about, and now that like we kind of know the mission and the purpose is obviously to take down the king. I wonder if like that's going to be the entire overarching plot of the series, or if that's just like a small plot within something bigger that we're leading to. Like obviously there's so much that we still don't know, but obviously I feel like, you know, him getting the word keys and like him having so much power as it is now, like that's the overarching plot, is like when we get to Kingdom of Ash, it'll be like the final takedown and getting all the kingdoms back in order and to like be their own, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's where I'm gonna end this. Spoilers off.